Hey everyone, so today I'm going to show you how I fitted out a 34 litre, so that's a 9-gallon Fluval Flex for my Betta. And so in here I have a Betta with 6 cherry shrimp. You can see the female cherry shrimp here. So the Fluval Flex is perfect size for a Betta because it doesn't necessarily need a long tank to do lots of swimming around in, so this square tank actually works really nicely. It's really easy to fill with plants, as you can see, and it's all set up so it's got an area in the back, which I'm about to show you, where you put all your filter and stuff. So if we just lift the lid off now, I'm just going to lay it against the wall. You'll be able to see here that we've got loads of plants at the top. I've got a bit of algae on this plant here. Not too worried about that. I've got some ottocinclus coming next week, and that'll end up being lots of food for those guys. So one thing to note about the Fluval Flex is it actually comes with an outlet for the pump here, but the outlet is incredibly fast rate. And depending on which country you're in, so it seems that the American pump has a slider on the side, which allows you to control the flow rate. But I'm in the UK and it doesn't have that. So you can buy some of this off Amazon, which is just some filter. It's like a pump output filter thing. If you just look on Amazon for something like that, you'll find it. It's like £3. You can just tuck it on the end and you can see here that the water is still moving. It's still rotating the water through the aquarium. But the flow rate is no longer such that it affects this guy swimming around at all. So that's really great. So then right in the back here, we've got some build-up of stuff. I don't need to worry too much about that. You've got the heater here. I've got this set to 24. I found the Fluval heater to be super inaccurate. So actually, looking here, if I just turn this on, you'll be able to see this is actually at 26.8 degrees. I'm actually reducing the temperature right now slowly to 26 degrees for when I add the ottocinclus. The Betta's quite happy at that temperature, so that should be fine. You've got a large filter here, and then this is just empty. You can add another bit of filter stuff here, but I can't be bothered personally. I was a bit worried about this. So the Fluval Flex actually comes with these on them, the shrimp guards. I was a bit worried when I was looking into it that it didn't come with those because an older version didn't, but these do. And I haven't had any issues with shrimps traveling into the back, so you don't have to worry too much about that. So one last thing of note is these Betta hammocks that I've got. So I've got one on each side. I've actually got 2 more down here, but I took them out because he wasn't using those. These work really well in terms of a place for your Betta to sit on the surface of the tank. Just remove that. To allow them to just sip on air when they want to. One thing I have noticed, while this is heavily planted, without the surface agitation, there is less oxygen in the water. And so I have actually got an aeration stone as well, so I'll show you that just now. Okay, so you can see the bubbles at the back there. You've got the pipe coming down the right-hand side. I kind of need this greenery to grow in a little bit more to cover that pipe up, but it does the job right now. So I use that just for a couple of hours a day to make sure the tank has got enough oxygen in it. I'm adding ottocinclus, I've got shrimp in here. So whilst the Betta can survive okay by sipping on air at the top of the tank, it's good to have the water oxygenated as well. And I'm finding the plants at the minute, particularly as they're covered in quite a lot of algae, are not oxygenating the water as well as they could. So that's the reason I'm doing that. So I normally turn it on for an hour or 2 a day, or if I notice the Betta sipping on air more than he should be. So in terms of general Betta care, a couple of things that you want to be aware of. I initially started this tank with stones. I found out after starting the tank with stones, as the aquascaping decoration, that it wasn't necessarily the best thing for a Betta because it can tear his fins. He didn't tear his fins until one day I put an algae wafer in. He investigated it and went kind of nuts over it, and then tore up and shredded the whole back of his fin here. It's since regrown, but the day that happened, I removed the rocks and I ordered some driftwood the same day. I recommend just starting with driftwood. The internet wasn't lying when it told me that rocks were bad. There's a little house at the back there. He only goes in it maybe like once a month, but I think just having it there means that he's more confident that he can come out and say hello. He's got somewhere to hide. And also, having all these plants in it means he knows he's got somewhere to hide. And you'll often find that when you take off the lid, he actually will quite quickly swim underneath the plants, and it makes him a lot more comfortable. So here he's swimming underneath the Betta hammock. And if I put my finger in, he's going to say hello. He knows me too well. Okay, so then the final great thing about this tank is this little feeding hole. So I use Betta granules. I recommend these over flakes. I found that when I was feeding him flakes that my local pet store recommended to me, he wasn't necessarily always taking them. He was spitting a lot of them out. A lot of them ended up on the floor. And then when they're on the floor, that will contribute to your waste in the tank. With just a Betta and 6 cherry shrimp and feeding him 4 Betta granules twice a day, I'm finding that actually the nitrite levels hardly raise at all. So I am doing reasonably regular water changes just to make sure that I'm removing other chemicals from the tank. But I could probably get away with doing a water change once a month, which is pretty crazy. I currently do sort of 10 to 20%, so that's 3 to 5 litres normally, once every week or once every 2 weeks. I haven't noticed anything, any build-up of chemicals from this. My main issue at the minute is some algae, but I'm getting the Oxysynclus. I think some of this is just due to the fact that I had a bit of an algae bloom. I'm on the tail end of it, and it's just a case of actually getting rid of the last of that algae is quite difficult. So having some natural ability to get rid of that with the Oxysynclus catfish will be really good. So like and subscribe. I'm going to try and do some more videos when my Oxysynclus arrives next week. I'll do a video of adding them. Feel free to leave a comment, ask any questions. Happy to answer anything. Thanks for watching.